It's a one-way march to hell, with Rossi watching from the shadows, Acosta circling like a shark, and Marquez walking in alone, crown on his head, fire in his eyes, no fluff, no filler, just blood, bones, and brutal truths. The road to Sachsenring is paved with vengeance. Let's not waste time with pleasantries. This isn't about titles anymore. This isn't even about racing. This is about unfinished business. About a war that started 10 years ago, left bodies in the gravel and legends in shambles. A war that was supposed to be over, but never really ended. Not when one of them still walks the earth wearing red, and the other sits in the shadows, whispering orders like a retired mob boss who never quite left the game. Sachsenring 2025 isn't a Grand Prix, it's a reckoning. And every name on the entry list is just a supporting actor in a film written by vengeance, greed, and legacy. The ghost who wouldn't die. Marc Marquez was supposed to be done. That was the narrative, the hopeful dream of everyone who couldn't stomach watching the man win. They prayed for the crash in 2020 to be the end, for the surgeries, the nerve damage, the fear, to finally turn the fastest man alive into a human being. But legends don't retire from war. They become generals. And Marquez, he became something worse, a smarter version of himself, a colder version. The Marc who returned wasn't just fast, he was calculating. Every move now had weight, precision, patience. The wild, chaotic predator had evolved into a methodical killer. He left Repsol Honda like a ghost fleeing its own grave, picked up the Gresini Ducati, and instantly became a threat again. And now he's marching into Sachsenring as the championship leader. 68 points ahead of Alex, 126 ahead of Bagnaia. The standings aren't close. The fight isn't fair. The crown is already tilting toward one name, and Valentino Rossi knows it. Valentino's last trick? You thought he was done? Retired in 2021, smiling for the cameras, playing with his kid, building up the VR46 brand? That's just the surface. Underneath, Rossi has never let go of 2015. Not really. That betrayal, whether it was real or imagined, is still a splinter in his psyche, still twisting, still bleeding. The idea of Marquez reaching 10 world titles, it's an existential crisis. That number, 10, is sacred. It's the ceiling, the final wall before godhood. Rossi hit 9, and for years that stood as an empire, untouchable. But now, that kingdom is shaking. Marquez is knocking, and Rossi, he's not praying for mercy, he's plotting revenge. Pedro Acosta, let's talk about the hitman. Pedro Acosta, the shark of Mazarrón, a rookie with the eyes of a veteran and the instincts of a killer. He's not a future champion, he's a present danger, and Rossi sees it, smells it, wants it. Not because Acosta rides pretty, because Acosta rides like he was born to kill giants. This isn't grooming a protege, this is forging a weapon. And Acosta, he's got all the right ingredients. Hunger, youth, arrogance, and that sweet, simmering resentment for the KTM cage he's stuck in. He doesn't want to ride, he wants to rule. And Rossi's dangling the keys to the kingdom. A Ducati, factory spec, laced in black and yellow. Not just speed, symbolism, a seat at VR46, not a promotion, a declaration of war. Whispers in the walls. The paddock is quiet, too quiet. And when things go quiet in MotoGP, it's not peace, it's the calm before someone bleeds. There are whispers now, loud ones. Acosta visited the ranch, rode with the VR46 boys, had long talks behind closed doors. Contracts are still inked to KTM, but we all know how these things work. Lawyers can be bought, clauses broken, engines swapped. Rossi's been around long enough to know how to make a move without leaving fingerprints. And then there's Pernat, the old consigliere, walking through the paddock with a smirk and a warning. Rossi has a plan, and Acosta might be part of it. Of course he does. Of course he is. Marc Marquez, the DNA of domination. Let's take a step back and look at what they're really trying to kill. Not just a rider, not a man, a force. Marc's not the fastest anymore by default. He's the fastest because he knows how to suffer better than anyone else. Because he's adapted. Broken bones, broken bike, broken politics. Still standing, still killing. This version of Marc, he's the one that keeps legends up at night. He's learned from every rival, Lorenzo's lines, Stoner's throttle control, Dovizioso's cold strategy, Rossi's psychological warfare. He's seen them all, beaten most, buried the rest. And now he's on the Ducati. The beast that was once his enemy is now his warhorse, and he's winning. He's not playing chess, he's flipping the board. Sachsenring incoming. Here's where the blood starts to boil. Sachsenring isn't just another track, it's his track. 11 straight wins before the injury, a place where corners bend to his will, where history bends to his name. The track doesn't just suit him, it belongs to him. And now in 2025, he walks into Sachsenring not just to win, but to send a message. Not to Pecco, not to Jorge, not even to Alex. To the ghost in Tavullia, to the dawn in the shadows, to Rossi. This is Marc saying, I don't care who you train. I don't care who you back. I don't care what ghosts you raise. I will still be standing. It's not a race, it's an execution. The grid of pretenders. Let's run the numbers. Bagnaia crumbling under expectation. Ducati gave him the throne, and he's dropping it like it's cursed. Jorge Martin went from championship leader to cautionary tale. Burned Aprilia, embraced Honda. More headlines than podiums. Bastianini fading into the mist. Bezzecchi, wild but wounded. Alex Marquez, too close, too safe. Brother, not enemy. None of them have what it takes to dethrone Marc, not even close. Acosta might, but he's not here yet. And until he is, Marc reigns alone. Legacy on the line, 10 titles. That's the number. The holy grail, the golden bullet. Rossi's stuck at 9, and if Marquez gets that 10th, the entire mythology of modern MotoGP changes forever. It's no longer about who lit the fire, it's about who survived the blaze. Rossi lit it, Marquez walked through it, and now that 10th title, it's the crown of fire. If he gets it, he becomes something even Rossi never was, undisputed. Acosta, future king or sacrificial lamb? Let's not romanticize it. Pedro Acosta isn't guaranteed anything. The sport eats the hungry, swallows the brave, and Marquez is the kind of rider who breaks futures before they bloom. If Acosta steps into this war, he's not stepping onto the battlefield, he's stepping into the Coliseum, where one man has already killed gods. If he gets Rossi's backing, if he gets the Ducati, if he signs the contract and locks eyes with Marc on the grid in Qatar 2026, then and only then does he get his chance. But history doesn't give chances. You take them, or you get eaten. The war is not coming. It's here. Sachsenring is days away, and the silence is suffocating. Rossi's boys look tense. VR46 mechanics keep their heads down. Pernat's voice is low, but his words are heavy. Ducati won't speak on the Acosta rumors. KTM pretends everything's fine, but everyone knows. The next move decides the war. Will Rossi pull the trigger early? Will Acosta make the leap? Will the VR46 deal be signed behind a velvet curtain while the engines scream down the Sachsenring straights? Or will Marc Marquez again remind the world that there's no throne left to take because he already melted it down and forged it into his front tire? This isn't about if someone will stop Marc Marquez. It's about what kind of monster it'll take to even get close. And right now, there's only one rider with the DNA, the backing, and the bloodlust to try. Pedro Acosta. But even he should think twice, because Marquez isn't chasing trophies anymore. He's chasing immortality, and anyone standing in his way isn't a rival. They're a name on a list. To be continued, at Sachsenring, the fire is lit, the Don has spoken, the assassin is sharpening his teeth, and the king, he's waiting at the gates of Sachsenring, smiling like he's already read the ending. Don't blink. Because when the lights go out, you're not watching a race. You're watching history get rewritten with tire marks and blood.